Greetings and welcome to the Ngoma Zethu podcast, episode 4. In today's episode, we'll be talking about humanity. And humanity, not just in the simplistic terms of bipedality, just because we're walking 2 feet, you see a being walking 2 feet, we just say humanity, but in the sense of the fundamentals of the philosophy of life, what you believe in, what your understanding of humanity. And I'll be talking about this from my people's perspective, the Bantu. For those of you that are not familiar with basic African geography, the Bantu, you mostly find them in the Niger Delta, into Cameroon, the Central African Republic, Southern Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, and from there, you just look down, go all the way down into South Africa, everything in between there. Mostly that's where you find Bantu. And the Bantu, as we all know, are some of the earliest human beings on planet Earth. Before human beings left Africa, the Bantus have been there. And they have a philosophy, an understanding of life. And so they have what we call Ubuntu, U-B-U-N-T-U, Ubuntu. And Ubuntu means I am because you are. And the word Bantu sometimes is confused as meaning a people, even though it can be like a cultural group. But Bantu means human being. It could be, depending on where you are, the spelling changes a little bit. But Muntu, Muru, it means a human being. So meaning that the Bantu have known for thousands of years, for hundreds of thousands of years, that they're human beings. The story becomes very contested when a group of people come into Africa. Now, Africans, people have left Africa, they have gone into other parts of the world over thousands of years. And then through, traveling and all that, people come back into Africa for their own reasons. And so this is like recent history, starting from like the 7th century, where you're looking at people coming in, not coming into Africa with the motive of like returning home, but coming in to get over other people, to just pretty much like just walk over other people, with impunity. So they come in with a different idea of humanity, which is based on I cannot be because you are. So meaning that even though you've been on that land for thousands of years, but just the fact that I've arrived and I see that I cannot be what I want to be because you are, which is different from the Bantu, because the Bantu says, I am because you are. All of a sudden, the Bantu's humanity is denied. No more, this new being is denying that the Bantu is a human being. And they are creating their own idea, their own words, they're trying to call this maybe 3 feet of a human being, whatever they come up with, whatever trick, whatever corrupt story they can come up with. Or maybe you're not part of this religion, you don't know God, and so the trick starts, the lying starts, and the corruption starts, and the violence starts right away, because it's I cannot be because you are, meaning that I have to get rid of you by any means necessary. Whatever I can do, I have to get rid of you. Now, the Bantu, even though, and the rest of the people in Africa, and most of the oppressed people around the world, whether they've been colonized or enslaved, they always try to appeal to the goodness of their oppressor, try to probe, try to see, does this being has any sense of goodness or any traces of goodness in it? That, okay, this being or this person is the one that's doing the oppression. They're oppressing me. Is there something that I've done wrong? So they submit and try to appease and please and do whatever necessary not to upset this being. But what they don't realize is that uh, all oppression are not possible without some sense of anger and a claim of victimhood, that I'm a victim in this. You're sitting on my land. This land belongs to me, or you've taken what belongs to me. And so when you try to appease or explain to this person, the more they get angry because they have sensed your vulnerability. They can see that, okay, you're weak, even though it's not weakness. You just have a very sophisticated idea of humanity that, no, you can be with us. You're welcome here because I am, because you are. But because his philosophy or this new being's philosophy that, no, no, I cannot be because you are. So I'm going to deny your humanity. For me to survive, I got to deny your existence. So I can. It's all mine now. It's me, myself, and I. It's about me and people that that have come with me, that look like me. This idea of humanity has taken hold now. This new idea of humanity, not the one that I am because you are. That embrace all humanity. It has taken hold because people have seen that, look, no, there's a dominant force that believes in that I cannot be because you are. And that becomes the way of life, that those that do not subscribe to that become very timid and they're scary. And you can read, like, throughout history, some of the letters that were being sent back home from the oppressors. They were sending letters home. They were marveling in the idea that how timid the new people they had found were. They didn't understand that that's not being timid. That's humanity. That's acknowledging. The reason why you've been welcomed and acknowledged is not that they're weak, that we're weak. Is that because, no, our understanding of humanity is very sophisticated. It's not like, no, it's about me. I can't be because you're here. No, I am because we can all do this. We can, we don't have to do this. And every time that the oppressed people's humanity or Ubuntu has been denied, and what happens is that the person or the group that's denying the indigenous people's humanity gets more brazen. They get more arrogant. They get more arrogant. But their arrogance, the sad thing about it is that even though they are denying the indigenous people, whether it's like the Bantu in Africa that were walked over by the Belgians, the French, the British, the Arab that came in over there from the 7th century. In the end, when the brute force that has been perpetrated, when that entity, when those group of people that are denying the oppressed people's humanity, that are distorting the idea of humanity, when they are in trouble, they always run to the indigenous or the oppressed people to bail them out. Whether it's like through, if you look at the history of slavery in the Americas, Latin America, the Caribbean, North America, that the enslaved people had they endured so much brutality and dehumanization. Their humanity, their Ubuntu was denied. But when the oppressor or the master got sick, it was the same indigenous people or enslaved people that gave the master his humanity. They gave him water. They nursed him when he was sick. Even when he died, they went to bury him. They still were giving him his humanity, even though he had denied them their humanity. So the idea, what people that have to realize, that there's a conflict, there is a clash of what you call civilization, of the understanding of humanity, where there's Ubuntu, I am because you are, and then there's this other idea. I have a term that I use for it. I call it the stupid version of life. The stupid version of life that don't want to acknowledge other people because for some reason you just think that you're this superior being. But whenever you're in trouble, whatever you're claiming to be superior, you always run or always use the oppressed. Now you have denied these indigenous people's humanity. They're not human beings in your eyes, but before you know it, you're also having sex with them. And that's the same people that you just deny that they're not human beings. So that's why I always say that it's a stupid version of life. And that story is always like supported, condoned, or advanced, or like really celebrated by what I call people that take pride in ignorance. People that take pride in ignorance. So humanity from the Bantu and the native people, because the native people in the Americas, if you look at Native Americans, they have the same concept of I am because you are. I am because you are, Ubuntu. And you can see that they were welcoming and even allocating lands, whether it's like in the Caribbean or in South America, North America, they were able to accommodate. There's a famous holiday that talks about, that celebrates what they call Thanksgiving, that the native people helped the pilgrims, the people that came in over here, and gave them food when they were hungry or whatever, shelter, warmth. But if the story had been just like that, and from there onwards, there was like really a pause or cessation of like real hostilities towards these people, then the idea of humanity, the universal humanity, makes sense. That we all believe that I am because you are. But you got to realize that there's a problem. That I think we have two clashing ideas of humanity. And the native people in America and in Latin America, they have the same idea like the Africans. They're the closest. Like Native Americans are the closest in terms of like really their spirituality, their idea of humanity with the Africans. They share the fundamentals of life, the idea, like they can share, you don't have to destroy other people for you to be. That no, I cannot be because you are, so I have to get you out of this land. I cannot survive. If you're here, that means my life doesn't go well, whatever, my happiness is taken away. And you see it over and over again, even like in contemporary times, like today, where certain people think that, look, if you're voting, if you're allowed to vote, that means I cannot be. Part of me has been taken away from you, just the fact that, you are allowed to vote. They just feel that there is something that has been taken away from them. So this just didn't start today. There's work to be done. And these issues are issues that they have to be discussed openly and never be tricked or be lied to by anybody, whether it's like a powerful corporate entity or powerful politicians, that these issues shouldn't be discussed. They have to be discussed. There's no choice. There's no discussion about this. These issues will be discussed whether people they want to participate or not. They'll be discussed. They'll be discussed. It's not like we seeking permission or anything like that. That will be discussed because there are facts here of the idea, people's idea of humanity. When somebody is coming from a philosophy, a concept of I am because you are, and you're welcome, we can work together, we can do this. And his idea is, no, I cannot be because you are. There's always going to be a problem. And meaning that whatever we're telling our children today about the rainbow nations around the world, rainbow nation or like real unity, it's a lie. We keep on like pretending that there's like real an issue that can be, we can address this issue without having to deal with the problem where it lies at the bottom, where it lies. And the new thing that I hear today is try to tell people, no, don't use the word evil, or do not call out people when they do wrong, because no one has ever changed their mind when they are confronted. Well, if this was simple, you can see that it doesn't make a difference. At the end of the Civil War in America, Black people walked away. No vengeance, no retribution. But see what's happening today. In Africa, at the end of colonialism, Black people walked away without any vengeance, the Africans, without any retribution. But what happened? They came back again and they're attacking the Africans again. So you can see that we need to make sure that we talk about this idea of Ubuntu, and those people that don't have it, there's hope that some people can learn from it. But there are people that are inherently bad. Time shouldn't be wasted at this time now try to appeal to them about anything, because they're inherently bad. And so for us to advance like very sophisticated idea of Ubuntu, let's make sure that we stand by what we believe in and our humanity.